Welcome to the Kdrama Show. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Kim.
We're here to unpack your all-time favorite Korean dramas and chat about all the reasons that we find these shows so charming.
And so addictive. And we know you do too, so settle in with some ramen and a boba tea while we dive into the Kdrama Show with Ashley and Kim. So, welcome back to Kdrama Show with Ashley and Kim.
Episode 12.
Episode 12.
So exciting.
We just finished having some tteokbokki and
it was very good.
It was delicious.
Also, at time of recording I think in Korea right now, it is the next day. So it is Taeyoung's birthday.
생일 축하합니다. It is currently 1 p.m. in Seoul.
So yes, it is officially his birthday. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
At time of recording, we understand that when this is released, it'll be
much
significantly past. That's okay.
So KCulture Tidbit.
KCulture Tidbit. This is a sad one, and so again, knowing that when this is being released, it's significantly later. The main actor from the movie Parasite, and I believe it's Lee SeongHyeon, right? That's how we... SeongHyeon. He has passed away.
Mm-hmm.
He was found dead. And so it was just very, very sad. The reasons behind it, I don't need to really get into all of them, but it was suicide. And so there's going to be the suicide hotline in our show notes, just because, unfortunately, that is a big... I don't want to say epidemic, but I don't know what other term to apply to it.
And it's just, we just always want to make sure that, our listeners know that they're loved and we see you, and, there is always help available, and to always reach out and just try, because we want you to be here.
Yes,
and we want to
share a better place with you in it.
It is, and we want to share a K-drama love with you. Yes. So we love you guys, and I think on that note, you want to hop into episode 12?
Hop into episode 12.
You want to back us up a little bit and
yes,
give us some episode 11?
So we had to do a little bit of a quick refresh on episode 11 because it's been a little bit since we've watched it.
We've gone through Christmas, so we've had some other
life
goings
events.
On, yeah.
But in our previous episode is when MiSo has fainted at a party. She's at the hospital, and we see YeongJoon going down memory lane of everything that happened with the kidnapping. So we see the actual kidnapping, and we get to see the entire ordeal.
Yeah, they filled in the gaps for us.
Yeah, we are fully informed now of everything that has happened. And so I liked the note that Kim had made of he's now using kid gloves to deal with MiSo, because he's so worried about how fragile she is right now.
Yes.
Tries to convince her to stay home, stay at the hospital, rest, and she's like, no, I'm fine. Ends up going into work because
she's MiSo.
And YeongJoon just is trying to find a way to get her to relax and to rest, because that's really what she needs now after remembering all of the traumatic memories. But I was looking at my notes from last, and I just started laughing, and I was like, my favorite line from that whole show was YeongJoon talking to himself, and he goes, my brain is sexy as my body. Are you listening? I'm listening. Oh, you are listening. And it just, he's just so
Such
funny.
A good moment.
It just, so yes, we see him treating her with more
she's
care.
Very fragile.
Right. And so
I think he's waiting for the other foot to drop.
I think so too.
The other shoe to drop.
Yeah, the other shoe.
Which would have a foot inside of it, but
typically. We also, a little random side note, we also see Yushi run into his ex-wife at a restaurant on her birthday, and
it doesn't end
it was a very
amicably.
Yeah, it was a not great experience. And so Yushi has some wounds that he's dealing with right now. But we ended our episode with YeongJoon and MiSo on a little date. he tries to tell her, I want you to come stay at my house tonight because I'm genuinely just concerned about you.
Right.
Like, I've had time to deal with this. This is all just resurfaced for you. And I'm really just concerned that you're not going to be able to sleep. He's like, and I know how scary this is, so I want you to, like, I want to be here. And she's like, no, I'm good. And she goes home. She gets, like, ready for bed. She gets in bed and, like, she lays down and is super uneasy. She is not handling this very well. And turns on the light, and then there's a knock at the door, or the doorbell rings. And she's like, what? What? Who? Okay, who's there? And opens the door, and it's YeongJoon, and he's like, well, you said you didn't want to come stay at my house, so I'm gonna come stay here. Like, let's sleep together tonight. And she's just like, what? Sorry?
With his roller luggage and everything. Like, it's one night and you were moving in.
Well, and he tells her, he's like, we're gonna be semi-living together.
Yep.
Bold term there, friend.
Oh, yes. So that rolls us right into episode 12, where they are semi-living together per his term. He just kind of starts taking over her space.
Oh, he just moved right in.
Oh, yeah. For one night, he's, like, rearranging things, making sure his, like, toiletries fit on the desk and his shoes fit in the closet.
Well, and he makes a comment about her being a minimalist. And he's like, it's great for all of my stuff to fit in here, too.
And she's like, no, I'm just poor. Relatable.
Same.
The part, though, where he looks inside of her closet and he's like, this is familiar.
Oh, yeah.
That was cute. I know this space well, or whatever.
Right.
So.
Well, and when he's putting all of his, like, face care stuff, like, on her desk, you know, like, face cream or something gets knocked off, and they both go to reach for it, and MiSo, this is just like, a little bit uncomfortable. Like,
hands
what do I
touch,
do?
electricity in the air.
And she gets all awkward. He has, like, a little gift for her, and he's like, okay, this is supposed to help you relax. This is supposed to make it so you can sleep. And it's like to do a little foot bath.
Yeah, foot bath with salt from the Yellow Sea.
Yeah, and
sounds luxurious.
it does.
Falls a little flat.
It falls very flat.
There's
That's
no
a great way to put it.
bathtub in the apartment, so they're both sitting there on her bathroom floor with their feet in basins.
Yeah. And he's like on the toilet, and he's just like awkward. And,
yeah.
Like, he like tries to like rest his arm, and he ends up flushing the toilet instead.
Yes. The way that they reacted to that, though, they acted like he just dropped a deuce in front of her, not just flushed the toilet. I don't know why they were so embarrassed about it.
It was very funny. And he just tells her, he's like, it's just because, you know, I'm just not familiar.
Yeah, he said it's not that it's uncomfortable, it's just unfamiliar, and I really liked that.
So they decide to go to sleep, and Miso's like, okay, well,
good night,
good
bye.
night. And she gets in bed, and next thing you know, YeongJoon's climbing in right beside her, and she's like,
she's not sure what to do with that information.
What are you doing? And he tells her, you know, I have a special pillow for you. And she's like, okay. And he picks up her head, and he's like, it's my arm.
My arm pillow.
My arm pillow. And
real talk, though.
Real talk.
Real talk. That is not a comfortable way to fall asleep. Like,
it's not.
Talking to my husband, he's like, yeah, it falls asleep after a couple of minutes, and then it's just not pleasant. So,
well, and it's really not comfortable for us either.
Well, no, because it's not a pillow, unless you got really flabby arms, and I don't. Not in a K-drama. That's not gonna happen.
But so she gets awkward. She pulls like the bed remote and tilts the bed up, and he's like,
the Tempur-Pedic.
Yeah, and he's just kind of like, what's happening? She goes, I'm suddenly not tired. Do you want to watch some TV?
Yeah.
And every time turns on the TV, and it's a steamy scene
from another Miss O.
Oh, is that what it's from?
Yeah,
I haven't watched that one yet. And it just,
they're just going at it.
But MiSo's face is just like
complete horror.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Well, they're both. Well, and then the way YeongJoon kind of fans the air, like, whew, it's a little steamy in here right now.
Do we need to open a window?
Take a cold shower. So she kind of pivots towards soccer instead, or
gets
sorry,
all
football.
Excited, and he's like, really? That's that exciting for you?
She's like, no, I just feel awkward.
It's just, I'm uncomfortable.
So she suggests, or no, YeongJoon suggests that maybe instead of trying to sleep, that they go share a glass of wine on the rooftop. And so they're up on the roof, and MiSo realizes she didn't actually have a corkscrew in her apartment. And she offers to use this hack that she saw on like a TV show where you put the base of the bottle into someone's shoe and just start smacking against the wall to make the cork pop out. And like mid-smack, YeongJoon looks at her and informs her that the bottle is worth 20 million Korean won, which is the equivalent of 18,000 US dollars. And she just very gingerly gives him back his shoe, places the bottle on the table, and just sits there.
Well, and that's honestly, I'm not gonna. I want to try that hack, but I would do it on really cheap wine.
Yeah.
But as they're reassembling themselves, basically, of that another awkward moment of the night, a series. It's a series. A neighbor is in the street.
This is Kim with the Kdrama Show, interrupting your regularly scheduled programming to provide you with a public service announcement. Here at the Kdrama Show, we feel inclined to inform our listeners that corruption is everywhere, including in our audio files. So it is my pleasure to provide our listeners with a quick recap of the following events in lieu of the recording that Ashley and I falsely believe to have taken place. Following MiSo's brutal attack on YeongJoon's wallet-breaking wine bottle, their awkward evening is interrupted by a woman in the neighborhood shouting to no one in particular about a non-residential car being parked in a residential space. You guessed it, folks, it was YeongJoon's. The couple rushes to meet the cantankerous woman who wastes no time in criticizing YeongJoon for his irresponsible lifestyle and spending habits. Surely he ought to live more like her son, who, by the way, just secured a position within the prestigious Yeonmyeon group. YeongJoon politely informs this woman that he is, in fact, the owner of this group. She sizes him up with her eyes and scolds him for lying while drunk. MiSo finally suggests that the couple return to YeongJoon's house because of the hassle and inconvenience he's been put through at hers, although she was grateful for the gesture. At YeongJoon's house, MiSo claims the guest room feeling a bit uneasy in a dark and unfamiliar space. She turns on the light to reveal YeongJoon lurking in the shadows as he gets his revenge from the museum flashlight jump scare. MiSo screams and YeongJoon rushes to her side to find out if she's alright. YeongJoon admits that he is made uneasy by the distance between them at nighttime when the trauma will be most difficult for her to bear, so he insists on joining her in bed. "I know what you're thinking, but my only concern is your safety," he says. After much hesitation, she finally submits to the notion, since she worries it will make YeongJoon uncomfortable if she declines again. Our show resumes with my unadulterated distaste for this situation and the pressures that YeongJoon places on MiSo to stay the night with him. And now, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Thank you! Anyway, I think that maybe something got lost in translation with the way they portrayed that scene, but at least by American standards, it was icky.
It was gross.
Because she was feeling like in order to make him feel okay and not
have to
be
compromise
embarrassed
herself.
Yeah, she had to allow him to sleep in her bed, and I just felt like that was gross, but...
Again, yeah, that very well could be a
maybe that's
lost
just
in translation
the mom
thing.
in me being like, no, get out of her room. But anyway, there were a couple of moments that over the course of the next few episodes, where I was just like, YeongJoon, you need to chill the freak out, bro.
Yeah. Ugh.
Anyway,
we'll get there. Well, then, to help with the awkwardness, because then they're both just like, do I say something? YeongJoon asks her if she would like him to sing her a lullaby. And she's like, in her head, she's like, this is so cringe. She goes, okay.
Yes, but for the rest of us, it was beautiful.
It was so cute. And he's a good singer, too.
Oh, he's a great singer.
And I was like, you can sing me to sleep? Like, please? Hi, I'll give you my address right now. But, like, when he's singing... They keep making awkward eye contact, and it's like he loses his nerve a little bit every time. But then we get this really sweet memory montage.
Yes, the montage.
It was very adorable.
It was cute to kind of go back to square one with them. So MiSo falls asleep. He gives her a sweet little kiss on the forehead, and then she kind of presses into him and,
she
falls
ends
asleep.
up, like, full-on cuddling, like,
oh, yeah,
a body pillow, like you're just snuggling, and he's just like,
he doesn't
what do I do?
Know what to do with that. But then we get to the next morning, and she is slept really soundly, really well.
Oh, yeah.
Found out that YeongJoon did not sleep a wink because he was afraid to move and wake her up.
Right. He didn't want to disturb her sleep.
But then he gets out of bed and says, Kim MiSo, can't promise anything tonight, though. Ooh.
Ooh.
Wanna be your girlfriend, yeah. do, 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 do.
But then they both start to have some thoughts. And I do enjoy the little cartoon devil that follows.
The Lusty Devil or whatever.
Yes. I love when it goes up to YeongJoon first and he's like, what's that promise about tonight?
I know.
And I just love his response and he goes, this lewd devil, you go away.
Go find Kim MiSo, is what he tells
And
it does. So she starts prepping breakfast. Wasn't terribly impressive looking, but she was putting some effort in.
Mm-hmm.
She goes to throw it away, but YeongJoon says he'll eat it since she made it, and she says, let me try to fix the shape. He goes, don't touch it anymore.
He's like, no, please don't.
You've done enough damage
Stop.
here, woman. YeongJoon goes to drink coffee from the cup.
Mm-hmm.
Has a little chip in it. And he's concerned since, this is his Jinx.
Yes.
And then going on about their day, they're leaving the house. MiSo scratches her heel on the way to the car. And she gets concerned because that's her Jinx.
Yes.
So we're double jinxing here.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere along the line, they've picked up Yushik. He is now in the car with them and says that he saw a crow, broke his glass this morning, and scuffed his shoe, but he has had great luck that day. And then the phone rings. Oh, wait, no.
Well, first,
we find out that Kim Seong-gi was admitted to the hospital for lung cancer, which is a hubei of YeongJoon and Yushik.
Right, and they were talking about how it's important to take care of yourself. You need to be kind to yourself, be kind to other people, because you don't know what could happen.
You might not notice while she's there, but when she's gone, she leaves an empty space. Started out about the health. I think it ended about his ex-wife.
As it usually does.
They're giving him a hard time about how everything's about his ex-wife lately.
He even starts to rant about it a little bit.
He does. He's talking about the oppa from the restaurant again and how embarrassing that all was.
Rash.
And then all of a sudden the phone rings and he's thinking it's Secretary Sol, but it's actually his ex-wife. And he answers. And I don't know if you know anything about how Koreans answer the phone, but they say
yes.
여보세요. But also a way to call your significant other, like 자기야, is 여보. So he starts and he says 여보. Seyo.
It's so
sweet.
So cute because he's
pathetic but cute.
Completely in love with her.
Oh yes.
She calls him and asks if he would like to go to cocktails that night. And he's like, yeah, sure. Oh, hey, can we meet a little bit later? I have to go meet somebody that's in the hospital.
Named Seong-gi, which in Korean sounds
very
a
close.
heck of a lot like genitals. Sorry, we're trying to keep this PG
We
here.
are. But she just
hangs up on him. She doesn't even wait for an answer.
He's trying to figure out how to fix that.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, friend.
Digging the hole deeper
There's
and
no
deeper.
good way to fix this.
No. So he talks to Kim MiSo and to YeongJoon and he goes, so which one is my Jinx, the crow, the shoe, or the glass? And they go, all three of them. All three of them. Oh, it was so good.
I love you, Sheik. Poor guy. So we're at the office now, and JiAh gives MiSo the schedule for YeongJoon's week, and she takes it into the office, and he asks her what she's doing for lunch, and so they end up making plans for a little date, because why not? And then we move to a planning meeting that JiAh is attending. She's given these confidential papers, and it's her job to shred them. And as she's walking out, she's on the phone. She's
not really paying attention to what she's doing.
She's pulling out the pages, and she shreds the notes of the meeting.
The meeting minutes, yeah.
And immediately starts to panic. And, I mean, same, because now you have to go through and you have to find everything. But GwiNam sees her in distress and swoops in and saves the day. And is like, we can fix this. This is no big deal. This is the type of pen you were writing in.
Yeah.
This is how I know. And, like, finds all of the pieces.
He says, you were writing with ballpoint pen. And she goes, it's because the vice chairman hates the sound of a clacking keyboard. And he goes, how does someone with this level of attentiveness shred the meeting minutes instead of the documents?
Distraction, my friend. That is
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, he helps her put it together and like does the little puzzle pieces, and like there's like a specific detail, and he's like, this is how you know that this is the correct way for this to go. And she's just looking at him like,
you're amazing.
Like, you just saved my life. Like, I didn't know how I was going to approach MiSo about this.
Right.
And she just is like super grateful. And he just tells her, you have to live by helping your neighbors.
Well, he was kind of pleased with himself with how impressed she was with the whole gesture.
Mm-hmm.
And
because
so
it was a genuine gesture. It wasn't him being
he wasn't
obnoxious.
Trying to just show off. He saw that she needed help, so he was willing to,
So yeah, now we see him be charming in a way for the very first time, rather than the man with 10 suits that's only one.
Well, and we know that we realize that he's capable because he's reminding her of meeting minutes that he just kept in his mind because he memorized it.
Right.
He's just kind of a butt about it.
Yes, he's a complete turd.
He's capable, but he's a jerk.
Absolutely. YeongJoon and MiSo are at their lunch date, and then they have a dessert that's brought to them, and it's covered in caramel. And she tells him that caramel is her soul food because he had given her his last caramel as a form of comfort,
right,
when she was young. And then, like, she does it very, very gently, like she's not trying to be aggressive, but she then asks him why he had changed his name.
And how
his brother took on his memories. And he just kind of, he doesn't really answer because she also tells him, like, if you're not ready to tell me, like, that's okay. But also, like, she wants to know.
Right. Well, it's interesting to me how she referred to SeongHyeon as the writer, not as his Hyung. Because she's
made it clear.
Being sensitive to the strained relationship. But so back at the office, SeRa is wishing for her man to just ask her out so that they can be official. And
she's so funny about it because SeRa and Secretary Seoul see an office romance.
Yeah,
and
when they're coming in the front door.
Hey, yeah, they're dating now. And she's just like, oh, I want that.
Would he just buck up and ask me?
Yeah,
so
come on.
Back up in the office, she gets a text for like this coupon, 20% off something. I don't remember exactly, but she fakes that it's this neighborhood oppa that keeps pursuing her relentlessly in front of Secretary Yang. And he's starting to look a little concerned, a little, worked up about it.
Yeah.
Secretary Jung, he pipes up and he makes fun of her, saying that it's just someone who probably wants to sell her insurance.
He's so mean.
But SeRa gets after Secretary Yang for drinking a Coke while she's trying to make her feelings known, essentially, and says that I would also like to enjoy a Coke. And then she just storms out of the room.
And the poor guy is choking.
He has no idea what to do. He's just trying to live his life and, in proximity to the girl he thinks is cute at work, and he's getting flack for it.
Lack of communication.
Oh, all across the board.
All across.
So SeRa is kind of wandering around like the break area, and Secretary Yang very heroically arrives with this bottle of Coke and asks her to drink it, but insists that it's while she's alone. And then quickly hides behind the wall around the corner. just scurries away.
I just need to make sure. And so she starts drinking her Coke. And she takes a pretty big gulp because...
Yeah, it hurt my chest while she was drinking it that quickly.
That's a lot of carbonation. And she drinks it and she's like, there's something on here. And down the bottle, as she drinks it, it's Secretary Yang.
Section Chief Bong. You are adorable. Would you like to date?
Yes, I did write it down.
And then she burps her yes.
It's so funny. But I was very impressed with how quickly she finished that Coke.
I was scared for her.
Yes, a little bit that too, because that
chunks everywhere.
It hurt.
We were just talking about heartburn before we started this episode, and I'm getting some,
right,
secondary sympathy heartburn.
Absolutely.
So MiSo has taken YeongJoon to a department store after their lunch to buy a new cup in order to undo his jinx for him. And the sales lady offers to show them to a line of tableware that is popular with the newlyweds. And YeongJoon, like, jumps on the opportunity.
He's like, I need the whole set.
Since they are, you know, semi-living together
Right.
after all.
Well, because then when he says that, MiSo's like, you need to keep your voice down. I don't want people to hear
Rumors
this.
will start flying.
And she kind of tells him off. And he's so pleased with himself. He's like, I know I just got yelled at, but I don't feel bad at all.
He's so cute. But he offers to undo MiSo's jinx by either A, requiring sneakers at work instead of
For everyone.
formal footwear. B, get her a driver in a car.
And she can't sell the car this time.
And C, buy her a new pair of heels. And you'll never guess which option she takes.
I'm going to go with buy a new pair of heels.
I would have said sneakers at work. Just kidding.
That's more practical.
So we transition back to the office and see that YeongJoon's parents have actually arrived. They're looking a little bit forlorn. And MiSo asked JiAh to go to a meeting in her stead to give the family a little bit of privacy. And YeongJoon's parents are here to sort of confront the situation regarding the memory loss, which part of me was like, time and place, people.
Yeah, why are you coming into
workday?
The office? But I do like that they come in and they own it.
Yeah.
They come in and they go, did you really keep all of your memories?
But it's been several days since they've known that he knows. And they
and there's
chose the middle of a workday to bring up this debilitating trauma that their son has while running their company.
Oh, their timing is
lacking. And why at work? But anyway, I'll get off that soapbox.
They like his dad asks him, you know, is it true that you never actually lost your memory? And when he confirms it, they both of his parents, just like you could see the heartbreak of, and they're like, this is my fault. I did not take care of you the way I was supposed to.
Well, they asked YeongJoon to explain himself so that they could kind of understand him better, and also to share the weight of his decision with him, rather than continue to make him carry that by himself, which I thought was cool.
And
this made me cry.
It was so sad because we see the flashback of SeongHyeon leaving YeongJoon by himself in the redeveloping area, and we see when the woman take YeongJoon and
drugs him,
and it's just very, because he comes up and he's kind of just wandering because he's like, where did my brother go? I don't want to be here anymore. And the woman sees him and is like, hey, can you tell me where this is? Or can you help me carry something? And then says, here, I want to give you this as a thank you. And it's like a banana milk or something yogurt, like that. And that's what was, that's what had the drug in it. And then at the same time, like, we also see SeongHyeon have some flashbacks.
Well, first he asks the butler to move his things back to his original room in present day, now that his memory is back. And he says to the butler, like, you were there, you remember, and he didn't say anything. He just said, I'll move it back this weekend.
That's right, yeah.
But then he also is, like you said, he's starting to recall, like, his father shouting at him, surrounded by police, asking where his brother was. But when YeongJoon got back to the house, SeongHyeon was sitting in his room wearing his clothes and accuses YeongJoon of leaving SeongHyeon for dead.
And he's like screaming at like this little kid.
Well, this kid was traumatized.
And he's screaming and he's throwing stuff, and YeongJoon's just going,
I don't know what's happening.
I don't even know what I just went through. How am I supposed to deal with
you hijacking my trauma?
Right.
This was supposed to be a safe place for him to be at home, and he's being physically and verbally attacked by his older brother.
Well, because then it even turns into the boys can't be near each other
without fighting.
Without mostly SeongHyeon just freaking out and just beating YeongJoon up constantly. And of course YeongJoon's going to fight back because
he's a brother.
When he's like, no, dude, this is me. Yeah. I'm the one who went through all this. And so for their safety, the parents were considering sending SeongHyeon to a hospital to get some actual treatment.
Yeah, because he had gotten a baseball bat out, getting ready to use it on YeongJoon.
And YeongJoon was in the doorway and he hears his mom say, I just want to die. And he was like, I knew what death was in this moment, and I couldn't take that on.
Well, and it's not even that he knew what death was. He had a skewed version of it because of how
skewed version.
Awful his first introduction was to it. Because death is not always so painful, so devastating and
traumatic,
scary.
Right.
But that was all that he knew, and so he was envisioning that with his mother, and he got scared.
Well, and it was so bad that he couldn't take it. So at the breakfast table, he fainted and then acted like he had no memory of the entire time of the kidnapping. And then, apologizes to his brother, and he's like, I had no idea that happened. I'm sorry.
Well, his mother, back in present day, apologizes that her words had affected his decision to hide his pain for so many years. And he still tries to say, no, it's okay, I understand. And she says, please don't try to understand, because this is not your job to be understanding right now. You be the child, let us be the parents for once.
Right. You made a decision as a child that it was like an adult decision that he made it, obviously, but did not need to make. But afterwards, when the parents are leaving, YeongJoon's mom looks at MiSo and just kind of gives a sad smile. I think a little bit of relief as well. And just is like, please take care of him. During this whole interaction, MiSo is just standing outside with a tray because she was going to go in with refreshments, but she knows what's going on. And you just see her just crying outside the room because...
Well, YeongJoon is weeping.
Oh, he's broken because he finally is allowed to be.
It was very sad, but it
heartbreaking.
Was a relief for everyone, including the viewers, I think.
Right.
Because we'd all been waiting for this to resolve.
Yeah, we finally get, I don't want to say closure, but that's what it basically is there's finally...
It's the beginning of reconciliation. But YeongJoon is kind of a bit shell-shocked at this point. They start to drive home, and MiSo is trying to lighten the mood, kind of to no avail. But YeongJoon is thinking of SeongHyeon, who is returning to France. But he goes to see him at the house, accuses him of running away again. And SeongHyeon is upset that YeongJoon had made a decision for everyone in the family that had affected everyone so deeply. And never given him the chance to heal or trusted him
to get through it.
Yeah, exactly. And so YeongJoon actually apologizes finally. He said he did the best that he could, realizes that it was a mistake, and says even if it's painful, maybe we should have overcome it together because that's what family is. And then SeongHyeon starts to cry, but he actually asked for forgiveness too, so it was...
a big, big moment.
Oh yeah, because they both finally admitted their faults and their shortcomings rather than trying to pin it on the other brother, I felt like.
Right. And I think, I don't know, as a sibling, when you have a sibling that's that close, I don't know, I've never fought with my siblings to that extent ever.
I mean, you've never abandoned your younger sibling to a kidnapper?
Never.
Oh, good.
I know, right? But like there is
calls.
Right. There is a moment though of when both parties are able to remove themselves and be like, this was my fault. I don't have to be happy with you right now.
Well, yeah.
But we can step forward now. We can move up, and it gets to be okay. And so there was a big moment for SeongHyeon, especially
he did a little growing up that day.
To grow up. Not a lot, but he started. YeongJoon walks out of the house though, and he's still kind of in a daze almost. And he is just kind of standing outside, and he looks, and MiSo is standing there waiting for him. And because, she's that person that washes away the troubles of the day. And they get back to YeongJoon's house, and they're sitting on the couch and just, having a glass of wine, and they're talking about how it's such a relief to be honest, to get stuff out.
Get the truth in the light.
And MiSo makes a comment about honesty is always the best option.
Mm-hmm.
So then YeongJoon goes, well, can I tell you how I honestly feel? And just goes in for a big one.
Oh, sloppy, wet kisses. They end up on the couch on purpose this time.
This is intentional.
Gets a little bit spicy. And then we end.
And it just...
Episode 12.
It's the end.
The end. The whole end.
That
Just
doesn't-
kidding. There's still 4 more episodes.
That is a way to end an episode, though.
It was a bit different, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have a character of the hour? I think mine is SeongHyeon.
Yeah.
He had to put on his big boy pants a little bit and finally get over himself.
Right.
And that's hard, especially when you've spent a lifetime being that.
Yeah.
To, as an adult, admit those kinds of things, I think is really significant.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that I appreciated his growth and his character arc in this episode.
Yeah, I would agree. I was thinking about that after I watched it, and I was like, we have watched YeongJoon and we have watched MiSo have several arcs at this point, but this was a big character development for SeongHyeon right now, and that's a big deal. So I agree.
Especially because it wasn't for like a woman or anything. I mean, he didn't have anybody to help him through it.
No.
He just arrived there and...
It was painful, but he did it.
He did it. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. It's just a good episode of finally getting some resolution.
Yeah, there's a lot of tension that gets released in terms of the main conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really appreciated the way they portrayed the parents being loving and having done what they could with the situation. And I mean, honestly, if you feel like you have an out for preventing your kids from what you think would further traumatize them, I mean, it'd be hard not to take that road. So I don't think there's ever any malicious intent there. It blew up in everybody's faces. But
yeah, I would agree. And I don't know. I think that we're able to move on for the end of the show now.
Yeah,
we've hit our climax,
and
now we get to just enjoy the downhill slide.
The cutesy part of the K-drama.
The cutesy part of the K-drama.
I'm excited to see what happens with JiAh and GwiNam.
And maybe SeRa and Secretary Yang.
Oh, yes. Yes. Give me all of those B plots. All of them.
All of them.
Like what you're hearing? Go ahead and hit that follow button so that you don't miss out on any new episodes. Thanks for listening to The Kdrama Show with Ashley and Kim. We'll see you next time.